Next one we're going to move on to is we're going to create a nice door schedule. So how we'll do that again, we'll either go to the schedule and quantities in the project browser, right click and new. As well, you can go back to the view tab, select the schedules and do it that way as well. So in the new schedule dialog box, we go down to our doors and press OK. Again, we're showing the schedule properties. So what we want to bring into this one. So first we have comments, count, description, finish, fire rating, height, level, mark, type mark, and width. So now we just need to reorganize these. The first one will be the type mark. Use the blue arrows to shift it up into place. Next will be level. And then width. Height. Fire rating. Description. Finish. Count. Comments and mark. Then OK. Same as before, we're going to edit the appearance of the schedule itself. So first I'll select the text, change it to caps, and then add in some shading, same color. Change the border to wide lines and increase the border width lines from thin lines to medium lines, so inside and out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to organize the schedule so it's a bit neater and we can group certain doors together so we don't have all the information displayed. First thing we're going to do is tidy it up, and as you can notice in the center there we have an unusual door which is 56 ground floor 001 and mark 12. The quickest way to figure out which door that is to select it, come up here into the ribbon, and we have highlighted model, so we'll click on that and it will bring us into the model, and then just select close. So the door in question is the structural opening that we created earlier. So first thing I want to do is just remove the tag so it's not displayed. So now we know that it's the structural opening that's giving us an issue. So if we go back to our door schedule, and what we're going to do is use our filtering options to filter that door out of the schedule. So if we come over here to our properties palette, scroll down to other, then there is the fields, which is the first dialog box that we were shown when we create the schedule. So that's how we can go back into it. Next is filter, so we'll select edit. And no matter which one that we choose there of the edit, it will bring up the same box. We can just go back to the fields if we wanted to. There's sorting and grouping. So again, there's the sorting and grouping tag. Same for the formatting and appearance. Well, we'll stay on the filter tab. And what we'll do now is we'll filter out this door. So the way that we'll filter it is we're going to use the mark of that door. So the mark currently of that door is 12. What I'm going to do is add a unique mark to that door so I know what it is, so I can filter it out. So I'm going to cancel that. I have two ways that I can change the mark. I can either do it here in the schedule itself, or back in the ground floor plan, I can select it, come down to the properties, and there's the mark again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the mark here in the schedule, and I'm going to give it a unique name of AAA, all caps, because I know that no other door or window will ever have that mark because I've specified that. So that's why I'm giving it a unique mark. So now if we go back to our filter, so back in the properties on the left hand side, filter edit. So now I'm going to go filter by, and there are all of my fields. So I'm going to filter it by mark. And so I have a couple of options there what I can filter it by. What I want to choose is does not equal. So anything that does not equal this will remain. And if I then type in the AAA like we have here, press OK, and it's now been filtered out of our schedule. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the sorting and grouping. So we're going to sort the schedule out and group them together. So you can click on any one of those to bring us back into that dialog box, but what we're going to be doing is using the sorting and grouping tab. So the first thing we're going to sort this by is the level. And I want each one of my levels, be it the ground and first floor, to have its own header. So I'll display, yes, I want a header. Then I want it to be sorted by the width. So I'll select my width. And then if I scroll down to the bottom here, I've got the grand totals. So if I turn that on, it'll display the grand total of how many doors are in the project. And lastly, we have itemize every instance. So having that turned on means that every single door will be itemized on the schedule and given a count of 1. If we turn that off, any door that's repeated will be grouped together and the count will be displayed. So press OK. Now you can see our schedule has become a lot smaller. So first off, it's grouped together by ground and first floor. So first it's grouped by our level. Next, it's sorted by the width, so the smallest first, and they are no longer itemized. So all of the 910 doors are grouped together and the count is displayed. So the next thing I want to do is the level column here. The reason I added it in at first was just so I could get the ground and first floor to be displayed. So I now want to remove that out of the schedule, and as well as the mark. But instead of deleting them, because we want the mark column to obviously, we want its properties to remain so that AAA can stay out of the schedule. So we're just going to hide them. So we're now going to go over to the formatting in the properties panel here. First one we're going to select is the level itself. So there's the level. Come over to the right hand side. In here we can change the heading, then its orientation, its alignment. We can also then change if it's shown. So if we turn on hidden, it's going to disappear. As well, we want the mark to disappear. So we'll come down, select mark, and as well, we'll also tick hidden field. So there, both are now removed. And lastly here in column A, it's displayed type mark. We know that these are our door types. So if we select the text and highlight it and just change the text to door type. Now we can do the last adjustments to the actual appearance. So we want A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. I want them to be aligned in the center. As well, in the finish column here, I'm going to add in some finishes to those doors. So door 1, 2, and 3, I want them to be oak. And EDT01, that is the door within the curtain wall, so we'll make that aluminium. DT01, 2, and 3, they're all oak as well. So now that we've added in the finish, we can just hit the drop down arrow and select the finish. If you had any final comments about the doors, then we can add them in here. As well, there in the description panel, we can add in a description about that door. So we can change it to external double door. So when we change the information and the description about that, it's going to prompt us, do we want it to be applied to all elements of that type? Which, yes, we do. As well, on the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the grand total there is 21. So we know we've got 21 doors in total.